I'm standing in Yabberuk Forest near Donnybrook, and this morning the local community came to do an inspection of supposedly sort of sustainable logging practices in the forest here, only to find that thousands of trees have actually been poisoned, which has sort of made the community very, very angry. During the consultation process, it wasn't mentioned that copious amounts of herbicides would be used in this forest in a public drinking supply catchment, and we are absolutely disgusted. We can see what's happened here to this Eucalyptus calophylla, a marri tree that's been poisoned, and these are the notches that the timber workers come along and actually sort of hit the tree with an implement that's actually full of herbicides, and it gets injected into the tree and the tree dies. If you can see here, you can see the poison notch that's been put onto the base of the tree here. But what's happened is the tree hasn't actually died, of course. There's a lignite tuber in the ground which is actually sort of resprouted, which of course the poisoning hasn't actually done the job it was supposed to, and that was supposed to kill it so that it wouldn't compete with other species in the forest, particularly jarrah species. But what's happened here, of course, is that throughout this forest there are actually literally thousands of trees that have been poisoned, and what's happened now is the fact is that they've actually sprouted again from the lignite tuber in the base. Consequently, this forest in 4 or 5 years will actually be a fire hazard to the local community. As you can see beside me here is a very ancient marri tree, Corymbia calophylla, probably about 200 or 300 years old. But what's happened here is it's been ring-barked and then poisoned by the Forest Products Commission. The Forest Products Commission is the government arm of the logging industry. And what's happened is they've come into this forest and they've actually poisoned thousands of trees here because they compete with the hardwood species, Eucalyptus marginata, jarrah. But essentially what's happened here is that this important habitat tree is no longer a use to the ecosystem here, like 1,000 others. This is logging style, West Australia. A once healthy marri tree, also playing a huge role in this forest as a habitat tree to some of the rare and endangered parrot species that live here, particularly the cockatoos. But what's happened here is that it's been poisoned by the Forest Products Commission as part of their logging practices. Not only has this one been poisoned, but thousands and thousands of trees this age, some older than this, have been poisoned in this forest to basically sort of turn this forest into a single species monoculture of jarrah trees, Eucalyptus marginata. But really what's happening here is a crime against nature on behalf of the Forest Products Commission, who are answerable to no one. Not even the Minister for the Environment, Bill Marmion, or the Premier, Colin Barnett. They don't see things like this that happens in the forest, but we do as a community. Just down the road is Arcadia Forest, which is the next forest on the chopping block. The community are disgusted at what's going on in this forest, and they do not want the same practices applied to Arcadia Forest. In fact, they want Arcadia Forest put into the Wellington National Park and never to be logged.